Hi, it's Jeroslyn Jovan, and this is Hip Hop and Enterprise, our podcast aimed at inspiring the leaders of tomorrow, brought to you by Black Enterprise. Here we like to review the success stories of today's tastemakers to encourage those who dare to dream big. Today, joining me, we get industry insight on the importance of mental health in entertainment from the former president of Roc Nation turned CEO of Diverse Media, Benny Pough, a respected industry veteran with experience propelling the careers of names like Jay-Z, Rihanna, Kanye West, Justin Bieber, Boyz II Men, DJ Khaled, and so many more. Today, he's here to take us inside his memoir on impact, as well as give us insight from working in music and success in real estate. Join me in welcoming Benny Pough. How are you?
What's up? I'm great.
Woo, that was an intro because like you've done it. You've done it, you're doing it, you're doing even more with the book. So thank you.
No, thank you. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you and your audience, and it's a great time. It's a great time.
Yeah. You've been really promoting a lot of mental health in wake of releasing your book on impact in July. It's a very transparent story. You're retelling your story from recovery. Just tell us about the overall inspiration behind writing the book.
So, on impact, life, leadership, and betting on yourself was actually inspired from a near-death car accident, which I sustained in 2014. Hit a tree as a passenger at about 90 miles an hour. Sustained a level 2 concussion. That's when you black out between 1 and 5 minutes. L3 and L4 vertebrae fracture, bulging disc in your back, lacerated liver, which led me to lose half my blood supply. And we hit the tree so hard that it severed 2 feet of my small intestine. In that moment, God put a book inside of me, which changed me, called On Impact. And Impact is an acronym that stands for intuition, mastery, pivot, authenticity, connection, and teamwork. And it takes the reader through my journey at 11 years old, delivering newspapers, to modern day with an undercurrent of music, because I spent 30 years in the music business. And I feel I'm the person to tell my story, but because my story is similar to so many, going from paperboy to president and intern to CEO.
Amazing. And how did you know that this was the time to release the book? Like, all right, this is the moment. This is the year.
I'm very purpose driven, as well as I'm a frequency person, and I believe that God truly does lead my steps. As one door opens, another one closes. I'm a person who's gone through at least 60 jobs this lifetime, so I've been through a lot of experience, and in going through those things, I've touched people and realized how much pain goes in folks' day-to-day lives, that they're not able just to find an open avenue or a venue because they don't see a brighter day. They don't see the other side of the mountain, right? They don't see the blue in the sky and the green in the water. So when I knew the time was right is when that book was put inside of me to share with the rest of the world.
And, with the mental health component and your experience in the industry, how have you seen conversations around mental health in entertainment? How has it changed over the years?
Entertainment, when you think about it, right, is probably one of, and music is definitely on par with one of the leading mechanisms and sources for changing culture. And obviously, or not, in the music business, is far more an open community of dealing with people and just their art. Right, art is not necessarily accepted as a career, depending if you're an engineer, right, or if you're a doctor, you might see it differently, or you're a construction worker, you may see it differently as a career. So the creatives have definitely been far more advanced in allowing and dealing with issues of the day, more so than others, who are who are just focusing their head down on making ends meet. So I think the conversation, and obviously there's some big stars who have been public, about the challenges that they've had, that they deal with, the overcome. I mean, like, you gotta applaud Charlemagne
Hmm.
for his work in the space. Is how much bigger can you get to that with a guy who has millions of listeners and followers and shows, and he's embraced it and held on to that. And there are others as well that let you know it's okay.
Right.
It's okay, right? If it's no different than anything else. Once you identify you have an illness, just go find treatment or deal with the problem so it can help you get better.
Exactly. And so, what are you hoping readers take away from On Impact?
That pretty much, when you hit your bottom, allow yourself the opportunity to get up, right? And sometimes it's difficult, but you don't have to stand straight up. Sometimes you just have to bend and get on one knee, right? And then get the other knee and be in a crouch position, and then get erect and stand. And that's okay.
Mhm.
Realizing that happiness is truly, being in each day and enjoying it and loving it and realizing that this could be your last, and you don't want to miss any moment in it. And that's what happened with me in the accident, is that I realized the value of time. We plan for the future, but you don't know where your future ends. So therefore, you need to enjoy every day and make sure you take care of yourself.
Yes, definitely. Now, can you take us back a bit? Take us back?
Absolutely.
Of course, please. So, take us back to your start as an intern and
Wow.
like,
Well, way back.
please, because I mean, that's what we do here. It makes it widens the perspective of what success really is. Because a lot of times they see you as you, former president of Roc Nation and now the CEO, but you started as an intern, worked and kind of worked your way up. What would you say were some, not even key moments, just kind of key qualities within yourself that took you from intern to executive?
So I'm probably one of the few people who never had any aspirations of being in the music business. I started my music business career as a comedian. I was hired by the regional director of promotions for Motown Records, and at the end of my set, she asked me if I wanted to be her intern. What was I planning on doing? And at that point, I didn't even know what an intern was. So, being a salesperson, I said to her, "Yeah, I can do it," because in essence, I always thought I could do whatever I set my mind to. And that journey led me from Motown to Perspective, which is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's label. Went to work at Arista, which we had artists like Arista. I'm sorry, Monica, Usher, Outkast, Goody Mob, Whitney Houston, Tony Braxton, all of those kind of artists. And then I left there and went to MCA and moved west and worked artists like Mary J. Blige, Casey and JoJo, Shantae Moore, The Roots, Common, and Shaggy. Came back east and had an opportunity to get inside of Def Jam Records, which was a closed shop. They didn't allow many people in. They everything and everyone was homegrown, so it was very difficult in those days to get a job. Not only just in the business but at Def Jam Records. So made my way in there, and it was electric with the artists that came through, Young Jeezy, Neo, Rihanna, DJ Khaled, Fabulous, just to name a few of those.
Just a few.
Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, Mariah Carey. We also had J Lo. Yeah, well, I forgot. Ooh, we had a lot of artists that were at Def Jam at that point.
Yeah.
Left there and went to Epic Records, and it was a great opportunity to see the other side of the business, not just the entertainment art side, but the business end. And that was an amazing opportunity that was gifted to me by L.A. Reid, who gave me that shot to be, the only African American executive vice president of a label at that point. And it was a great experience. Brought Future in, Yo Gotti came through, Cash Out, 21 Savage, Travis Scott. left there and got the opportunity to work at Roc Nation as the president of their music division, which afforded me a different look at, obviously them being more on the entrepreneurial savvy end of the record business, right? And obviously the leader in that space. We did some special things there, putting out the music that we did, creating EQ distribution, and that's when I thought it was time for me to move in a different direction and bet on myself. So super excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, you have every right to be. It's like you were always there at the right time. Like when the legendary, iconic moments were happening, you were there and in a way where you could still live your life comfortably and enjoy the fruits of your labor peacefully. So, how do you feel about the current state of hip hop and even just the entertainment industry?
um, I mean, hip hop is art. It's special. I think it actually expresses, some elements of youth culture, but it also doesn't express all elements of culture. So, obviously for me, being around when hip hop was, you know, on the uptick to now being in the game where it is, I've seen it evolve and change, and obviously the players change and the music change. I think that this is just one different iteration of a great source of music, but at this point we have to see what today's music will be tomorrow.
Hmm. And what are some ways you think record labels could do more, or just even initiatives to prioritizing mental health for the entertainers, for the talent?
It's really interesting when you think about what companies' participation in the mental health space, which I will say on the corporate end, the big three are very amenable with healthcare and also managing people's conditions, and also staffs and the environment on which you may work under. So there are definitely systems that are in place now for people that they can reach out and seek whatever help they may need.
I'm watching a show on WeTV called Hip Hop Homicides. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh man, I didn't see it. I wanted to. I got
It's
busy.
really good. I mean,
I know it
it's
is.
every week, so you can always catch up. Each week's a different episode. Um, and to tell these stories and kind of provide clarity on some of these, they're not solved. There's answers and information related to each of
Right.
they're the homicides. Um, but at the same time, you see a reoccurring trend with some of these stories that where these artists were at the height about to take off, but it was like still a level of understanding maybe they didn't have within themselves of who they were and their potential. And so my question is there, for those of us that are curious, like, is there some form of like a lifestyle training of transition for someone that is coming out of having nothing and then now preparing for this superstardom?
So there's no formal training.
Mhm.
That definitely was yesterday, meaning the past. The artist labels were more involved in the artist development and also the management and making sure that that artist experience, right, on how they walked, how they talked, how they act was
Mhm.
more controlled to a degree. And not saying that that's the right way or the wrong way. It's just the way it was. And in that discipline, you taught you were taught different kind of nuances, etiquettes, and understanding of what it takes to become an artist, and how do you actually manage this space. And obviously, people can make those choices for themselves of what they choose to do as adults,
Right.
but more importantly, you got the basic training of understanding what it meant to be an artist. And I think ultimately the artists that are now successful and the ones that are on that pendulum of success will find the proper teams and also the right path to move them forward in their career.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. I mean, you've worked alongside, like I said, Jay Z, DJ Khaled, Justin Bieber. You mentioned J Lo. I mean, is there a certain quality or characteristic that each of them possess that lets you know that they were destined for greatness?
The people who are successful are undeniably some of the hardest working people that you'll ever meet. You just don't see it because you don't know them, right? But if there's a common thread with success, it's truly dedication.
And when it comes to, because I know you're crushing it in real estate, the interest rates, they're saying they're set to go down going into middle of 2023 for prospective home buyers. Any trades, trends as it relates to real estate that you're watching as an investor?
For me, I'm more of a buy and hold kind of guy because I'm more about the month to month return. And I'm an investor that I'm definitely looking for cherries. I buy low, hold them for 10, 15 years, max out, and then flip into whatever's next in the market. So
Mm.
the interest rates are important. Obviously you're gonna get a better return, but also too, when the interest rates at this point are higher, you would hope to get the benefit of lower pricing. But the markets in certain areas is just so hot. And now that real estate is the trending thing, everybody does real estate.
Mhm.
It's all about supply and demand.
Yes, yes. Me and my husband ourselves, we're like even looking to like be a part of this real estate group of investing in property in the Midwest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of people are going into those areas.
yeah, yeah. It's a smart thing to do. And then this my last question. Any advice that you have for someone aspiring to get into music, whether as an artist or on the executive level?
My recommendation to anyone in any business that you're entering is just do your homework, do your research, spend the time to assemble a team, and also don't run from the hard work. Put your time in, put your hours in, because ultimately, not only will you be investing your money, but you will be investing your time.
Mhm. Thank you, Benny Pough on Impact in stores, online, retailers now.
Right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been an honor.